Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm, as mentioned, Nolan Peterson, President and CEO of World Copper Ltd. So, World Copper is a Vancouver-based junior mining company with projects in Chile and Arizona. So we have two projects in Chile, Escalones and Cristal. Escalones is our flagship project. Cristal is a little bit of a greenfield project, so we won't talk too much about it today. Zonia is a project that we brought in just 3 months ago through a merger with a company called Cardero Resources. Now, the difference between us and many other junior exploration companies is that both of our assets, Escalones and Zonia, are 43-101 PEA-backed projects at a development stage. So we have substantial meat on the bones of this company. And really, we're flying under the radar with the assets that we do have. I consider both of these assets to be company makers, and we will be doing that very shortly. Let's talk about a bit about the management first. So myself, CEO and president, over almost 20 years of experience in engineering. I'm a metallurgist by background, but also have a finance background. I've developed two major projects and worked for large-scale producers. Our chairman, Henk van Alphen, is a chairman and founder. He has raised over $1 billion in financial transactions over a 30-year history, as well as had numerous success stories, including the sale of Corriente Resources in the early 2000s for $860 million, as well as chairman and founder of International Tower Hill Mines. Let's talk about the value proposition right up front. We have the two assets, as I mentioned, Escalones and Zonia. Both of these projects, as mentioned, at a 43-101 PEA stage. We have over 4 billion pounds of copper-oxide. It's an important distinction, copper-oxide in the ground. And after-tax valuation of both of these assets combined of $2.3 billion in NAV. And we are trading today at a sub $40 million market cap. So we're trading at a substantial discount to NAV and at a substantial discount to our peers, which I will show you in a second as well. I'd like to draw your attention to this slide, which many people are probably familiar with as investors in the junior mining space. This is the junior mining company Lifecycle. I want to emphasize where we are now, that we are past the first hump. We are in the feasibility and development stage of our company and de-risking our assets. And you'll see, based on this is the last opportunity for investors to get in before institutional and strategic investors take their hooks into the projects and take it to its full valuation. And that is where we are right now. I won't talk too much about copper. I'm sure everyone here is pretty up to speed on that, except to point out, of course, as many are aware, the substantial supply and demand gap that is forming is going to start forming very quickly, and by the end of the decade is going to be substantial. And as mentioned by the speakers earlier, there's no real solution, and the market is kind of sleepwalking its way into this. Let's talk about our asset in Chile. So Escalones is our flagship asset, and as mentioned, it's a copper porphyry skarn project with 426 million tons of copper oxide resource in development right now. This makes it the largest copper oxide project in development in Chile at the moment. This property has 25,000 meters of drilling, all within this orange circle here. And immediately to the south of that, we have a supergene target called the Mancha Maria, which we're in process of drilling right now. It's actually going to be complete in the next couple weeks. And then we also have 3 targets to the northeast, which are confirmed to be copper porphyry skarn targets as well. One point I should note is that Escalones is 35 kilometers east. Sorry, the slide is a little muffed there, but 35 kilometers east of El Teniente, which is the largest underground copper mine in the entire world, owned by Codelco. So we're in an area with substantial mining and production already in place. So this is a slide that shows how we stand out amongst Chilean copper oxide projects as the largest project. And you can see on the left side there of the large scale projects held by majors, KGHM and Codelco and others, that we have amongst the highest grades as well as tonnage. We do not have high grades compared to many of the smaller projects, so we have a moderately sized grade and a very large deposit. We prepared a preliminary economic assessment in February, so we released it just 3 months ago. It was $1.5 billion post-tax, 46% internal rate of return, again post-tax, at $3.60 per pound copper price. Now, many of you investors, I know you invest in many projects, and you can look at those numbers, and I doubt you will see them on very many projects out there. Initial capital of an oxide project, the fundability of our project is substantial at under $500 million. It's a $438.4 million project to get those attractive economics, and the cash costs are in line. What makes this possible is the fact that it is an oxide project. You're probably very familiar with other projects like Filo del Sol, Vizcachitas. These are the large-scale sulfide projects that take massive amounts of capital to put into development. You can see there on the left chart at the very bottom, you can see our capex of $438 million is in line with oxide projects like Marimaca. Now, on this slide, you'll see our project at a PEA stage, as well as other companies and their projects, all copper, all at a PEA stage or better of development, all operating in Chile or Argentina, so the same development and same jurisdictional risk, and we are trading at a substantial market cap valuation. We spoke about fundamentals earlier. This is the opportunity to look at the assets that the company has and invest at an early stage. The difference as well here is that many of these other companies have been trading in the public markets for over 5 years, building their message. World Copper listed through an RTO last January, so we're relatively fresh in the space. We have done no brokered financings, and we have one analyst covering us at the moment. So we have truly flown under the radar. We also have the other project in Arizona called the Zonia project. This is a brownfield asset that is to the northwest of Phoenix. Arizona is another attractive mining jurisdiction, just like Chile. You can see here pictures from the former production in the 60s and 70s. The open pit has already been stripped. There's mine site and buildings and the leach pad from former production. This property here sits, the entire resource at the moment of about 100 million tons that went into the last PEA 4 years ago, sits on private patented land. That means that this project can be permitted and potentially put into operations within a 3 to 4 year time frame. We also have to the northeast a confirmed copper porphyry that has had no drilling done yet on it to date. So the only question is how much copper is in the deposit to exploit in the future. Now let's talk about the economics of this project. In 2018, Cardero Resources carried out a PEA of this asset, $200 million initial capital, $200 million after-tax NPV at a $3 copper price. At a $4 copper price, this is a $450 million after-tax NPV and $150 million after-tax first-year free cash flow. So it's a substantial cash-generating asset with a attractively low capex that can be put into development and operations relatively quickly with substantial upside potential. So putting these two programs together, we have the team that knows how to develop assets. We're beyond, ladies and gentlemen, the exploration phase, although we have that upside. So we're beyond, trying to decipher the value of a high-grade drill hole or how much that will translate into in terms of resources. We have established the resources. We have established the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And so here we are developing them now. So Zonia, we will be doing a PEA update this year to advance it to current market conditions, as well as doing a drill program to that northeast target we call the Zonia Norte deposit, feasibility study next year, and then potentially starting permitting and construction in 2024 and operations in 2025. And parallel to that at Escalones, we'll be doing drilling to further expand and enlarge, again, what is already the largest copper oxide resource in development in Chile. And then in 2024, we will start a PFS-FS, and then we will advance from there using the cash flows from Zonia to fund into Escalones. So thank you very much, and come join us at our booth for further information. Thank you.